Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. Last Friday, on May the 3rd, the Israeli Embassy here in Washington, D.C. held their 12th annual Israel Solidarity Day. And it's a day when they invite Christians to come in so that they can express their gratitude and their thanks for their support. The host committee, I was one of the host committee, is then invited to extend that invitation to others throughout the country. So there are probably about 500 people there, I would guess. And excellent speeches. Malcolm Heading, the International Christian Embassy, Jerusalem, he's Executive Director Emeritus for that, gave an excellent speech. And so did the ambassador, Ambassador Michael Oren. He's the Israeli ambassador to the United States. And he told about the conditions that Israel is facing with regard to Iran and Syria and all this we know primarily. But then he said this. He said, "You can't imagine what your support means to us." And he's talking about all of us here at the meeting. You can't imagine what your support means to us. Now, there were, as I say, there were ministry heads there, but there were a lot of people that were not heads of ministry. There were a lot of people I know because I invited them. And there were others that did the same. That invited people who are committed intercessors on the part of Israel. And I'm thinking that when this is all said and done, the intercessors are going to have a double portion of God's blessing for what they have done. When I think of intercessor, I think of Rees Howells. He had a little Bible college, little Bible school in Wales prior to and after the Second World War. And he was an intercessor. He could pray with great fervency over time. And he started praying about the situation, the world situation in the 30s, when he saw the rise of Hitler and what the Nazis were intending to do. He could see that. And in May, from May 27th, as a matter of fact, May 27th through June the 4th, 1940, the school was praying 24/7. They were praying for what they saw and what they heard over BBC was hundreds of thousands of British and French troops that had their back to the English Channel, and they were confronted in the front by German troops, surrounded by them. They would either be killed or captured. And during that time period, from the 27th of May to the 4th of June, there were over 338,000 troops that were evacuated from the beaches and the harbors of Dunkirk. They were able to do that because there was a cloud cover. The weather was bad, and the Germans couldn't see who to bomb going across the channel. But there were over 300,000 that were saved. And as Churchill said, it was a miracle of deliverance. Indeed it was. But I'm satisfied that one of the primary causes for that miracle was the intercessory prayers of Rees Howells and his students, maybe 100 students during that time. And I know that's true today, that there are intercessors. God has called intercessors. And I think they will have a double portion of God's blessing and favor. Well done, good and faithful servants, when we go to be with Him. What do we do now? Let me suggest three things. Below this video of me, there's one by Derek Prince, and he has teaching on intercession. Listen to that. That's excellent. Also, you'll see on this spot report below, there are a list of requests, prayer requests regarding Israel, that a dear intercessory friend of ours supplied us in Israel, from Israel, supplied us this list. And then finally, if you would, take a look at our website, the JerusalemConnection.us, and go down the right-hand side to it, and you'll see the Watchman on the Wall Prayer Brigade. Sign up for that. Join us with that. And there are prayer points in there that you can use as well. And then, of course, don't forget this, what Jesus said about prayer. In Luke 21, verse 36, he says, "Always be alert at all times, praying," and the word is an intense form of praying, "that you may have the strength, that you may have the power to escape all that is about to come and stand before the Son of Man. And I don't believe Jesus would encourage us to pray for something that he didn't intend to give us. Keep that in mind. And as I close, I want to quote portions of a poem that is written by John Bunyan, entitled The Pilgrim. He wrote Pilgrim's Progress, as you know. But this was a favorite of Ord Wingate. Ord Wingate was a British soldier assigned to Palestine before it became Israel in the late 30s. And he did a tremendous job there, and then he was moved out and went to Ethiopia, and then also went to Burma. And his goal in life was to come back to Israel and be a Gideon that would lead the Israeli military. But he was killed in a plane crash in 1944. But here's the portion of the poem that he loved. Who would true valor see? Let him come hither. One here will constant be, come wind, come weather. Those are the people that will stand regardless with Israel in the days ahead. Who would true valor see? Let him come hither. One here will constant be, come wind, come weather. May that be true of us as we intercede for Israel and for Christians alike in these days and the days ahead. Till next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, or Shalom Aleichem, until Messiah comes.